Good morning, traders and investors. Dale Sucker with the Trader Boys. We have the markets moving up off those lows once again. So we've had a bit of news come out last night. Trump's looking at putting a $1 trillion bill together for infrastructure. So this is what they're making this move off the lows here. We got the S&P. S&P futures have rolled over. We're on the September contract. So the volume has shifted from the June contract to the September contract. For those futures traders out there, make sure you roll over those contracts. Right? Move with the institutional volume. We were up 43 points in the S&P, 1.4%. Nasdaq's having a nice big move, 133, up 1.3%. Dow's up 2%, 513. So the Dow was up 600 plus last night. We're up 37.20 at 2.62 on the Russell. We've got the bonds here not doing a great deal. Oil's up another 71 cents. So that's going to be helping our XM trade in a longer term play. So XM is a go. And Microsoft was the trade we said yesterday was a go. Microsoft's up another $3, 1.6% here. Amazon 1.06. Apple was a go there yesterday, up $6, 1.8%. So a lot of these plays that we looked at yesterday are working out really, really well for us. If we look at Delta Airlines, United Airlines, Carnival Cruise Lines, up 8, 10, 8% on these names here. So these guys are having a big morning up so far. Let's jump over to the charts. Let's take a look at where we are. So we got some interest in the charts here taking place. So on the S&P, you can see right now in the Globex session, which is the overnight trading session of the futures markets, we're coming right in to this trend line. It's having a hard time with this trend line right now. So you can see the power of trend lines. A lot of people don't understand trend lines, don't understand how to use trend lines, don't understand how to draw trend lines. But you keep up with me, you're going to keep seeing the power of these trend lines. So we're struggling with this trend line here. Just above us is our first area of supply that's going to create some resistance of going higher. So this supply level is coming from right here. This is where we had the sideways movement and we dropped away. So you got another little supply level here. This is what's stalling this. Just above us is a supply level that it may prevent the market from going higher. What I suspect right now is news is going to drive this base, which means sideways movement, and then probably breakout is really the course of action I'm looking for here, and not the retracement that we were talking of yesterday. On the Russell 2000, the Russell has hit its supply level overnight. So we're coming from this sideways movement back over here. Right? There was no more buy orders here, and market traded down pretty heavily. So we hit this supply level overnight. You can see the reaction we've had out this. We're about to break through this. So there's a opportunity for a breakout trade right here. If we break through this, right, we can get all the way up into this area here before we start to see any concerns. So we've got 14.55 up to 14.80 on the breakout. Go over to the Nasdaq here. Nasdaq is actually very interesting. We've come off the lows that we pointed out yesterday, all the way up to the highs. Right? We gained that lower trend line, but we said yesterday the upper trend line is the one that's important. So we're at that upper trend line into supply, and you just saw the drop just take place there off that. So let's look at this on a smaller time frame. We're into the 1 hour chart, so you can see where this is coming from. Sideways movement, no more buy orders, big heavy sellers. So there's a massive stack of unfilled institutional sell orders here. And this is how you can understand exactly what's taking place in the markets. So you can see we hit this last night. We've had the reaction off this, and we're coming back into that right now. And this is where we're going to have a hard time going north, right, to get through this. So this is the area to watch today. If this starts to fall away, breaks below this low, right, we can see some selling come into play, and that can get us back down into this area here, right, for an opportunity to trade in the upward direction. And that wouldn't be a bad thing. That actually be a beautiful thing. Right? The other area we can look at is this guy right here, coinciding with that lower trend line. You can see this trend line here. Boom, into the trend line, push back down, broke through, off the trend line to the upside, hesitated at the trend line, down we go, almost to the trend line, down we go. Right? So you can see the power of these trend lines. Broke through, back down the trend line, up we go. So wouldn't be surprised to see this trend back here, retrace back into the trend line, into this area of unfilled buy orders. And that'll give you a buying opportunity to get to the upside here. What we really need to see for that to happen is we need to get deep inside the supply level above this high here to take out these sellers. So that gives you the opportunity. We take the entry here at 97.50. We'd then take the some profit at 9,900, and then you'd leave some position on to fight through this for a multi-day trade. And so that's the Nasdaq. This is Apple here. Big move up in Apple. So 349 and change is just below that 350 mark. So Apple's looking to open right up in here. Right? Don't be surprised to see a little bit of a retracement. And for those that aren't in Apple yet, coming down to intraday charts, you'll be able to find an opportunity to be able to get long Apple if we can break through on the Nasdaq. The oil markets. Oil is into its supply level right here. We've hit the supply level. Let's go look at the 1 hour chart so you can see where that's coming from. So right here is where we'll get our sideways movement with the big heavy sell-off. So oil is just tagged that 37.95 area. We're hitting some selling pressure. There's unfilled sell orders institutions right here, right? And you can see right now it's just forcing us sideways. We're not dropping. We're not going up. Wouldn't be surprised to see Apple come in for a retracement, right? Small move down to continue the longer term move up. Right, so news is going to be a driving force behind this morning, right? But you've got to put the trade on, right? Accept the risk. This is gold. Gold has now come all the way up into that little area that we pointed out yesterday, and it is stalling at the supply level. So everything we pointed out yesterday, where to get into the market, right? We're very accurate. Now, where the market's stalling this morning is also very accurate on the supply levels. So can you time the markets? You absolutely can. Can you know where the turning point is going to be in advance? You absolutely can. This is a skill set that you need to learn if you want to be a trader or investor in the market. And Trader Boys is going to be here. We're producing right now a massive amount of education to educate you exactly how to do this skill set. Right? Let's flip over on the open. This is Amazon. Amazon's having a huge move up. It's going to open higher this morning. Netflix at 425 is opening higher this morning. Nothing to really to look at there. Facebook, it's opening up in here. Okay, having a move up 4%. And finally, we have Microsoft. Right, so Microsoft is the one we said yesterday was a go. Microsoft is opening higher this morning. We've got XM. XM has come off our demand level, regained its lower trend line, and opening right in this area here. Right around the 49 mark, is where we're currently trading at 8 a.m. in the morning. And there's nothing to stop this until we get all the way up to here. And then we're going to have a little bit of supply here. And then we can venture all the way to this upper trend line. So there's a lot of room to move in the next week on XM. Have an amazing day in the markets. Reach out, comment, subscribe, follow. And you're going to learn a lot. And there's going to be a lot of value every single day. Have a great day.